Alright, welcome to UFO 50 Bingo Week 2. We have a little bit of a double header here, where I'm going to be casting this match, and then we're going to be raiding into... Oh, whoops, it didn't actually save. Thank you, Karma. Title, UFO 50 Bingo Cast 1 versus marshmallow. Thank you, Carmen. Okay, so we are in week 2. We have two very, very skilled B tier players today, in Hugo and Marshmallow. They're going to have a minute to review the board. Just messed up my nail polish. Great. Tried to rush and do my nails before stream today, and they came out cute, but gonna have to redo a couple of them apparently, so that's annoying. Hi Toots, how's it going? We are just getting the live split timer and stuff set up. So they will have a minute to review, and once we go live, after that minute, they will have an hour 45 to try to clear off as much of this board as they can. I'll go ahead and ask the players if they're ready now.
Should different now.
Make sure they are... Oh, I guess this is also the time where both players are good to mute and deafen. I'm sorry I didn't give y'all the intro,
Alright.
but it looks like Miss Marshall is already muted, so good luck, y'all. Let me click into here. 3, 2, 1. Pretend I typed reveal right. Okay, so we have an interesting board where there's a lot of pretty difficult general goals on here, but also some pretty fast goals. So I think there's going to be a good mix of either going for some of these hard goals later in the game, or trying to rush to get some of these really, really fast ones right away. There is some pretty good synergy on this board as well, and enough games that are actually like cherryable, where I think the cherry might be somewhat possible. I forget if I normally give the 3-2-1 go here, but yeah, I'm very excited. Both Hugo and Marshmallow are extremely skilled players, and killed it in B tier last season. Immediately Quibble Race and Rakshasa. Interesting. Those are not the first two games I was expecting to see, but honestly the Quibble Race center square makes sense. Hopping into Rakshasa immediately to score 1,000 points with each of the 3 weapon types and run one run. That is also a pretty fast goal. It's not super hard to score 1,000 points in Rakshasa, and honestly, like, if you've played Rakshasa enough to cherry it, like, you at least have, like, enough familiarity with each weapon type to be fine. Okay, so looks like one bet down for Quibble Race. While we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and update the colors still. So for those that don't know, Quibble Race is actually not quite as random as it feels like it is. I didn't know this until practicing for Bingo this season, but apparently there's like a whole ass like tier list of like how fast and or clumsy the Quibbles are, which I think gets somewhat reflected in their like betting, but not to the like actual individualized degree that it actually is. Thankfully for this specific Quibble Race goal, you kind of just have to pick like the good Quibbles and then hope for the average amount of luck, which even in Quibble Race is sometimes not great. But this does also parlay potentially into a cherry. I admittedly don't know my Quibble Race like spreads well enough to be able to identify if something's going to be a cherry right away or not. Um, but as Quibble Race will do, sometimes, even if you are the favored Quibble, you're just gonna lose, because Quibble Race be like that. And, alright. Very quickly scoring 1,000 points with each item type. And again, that was a pretty fast goal, because you don't even have to complete the first level for it if you're doing it right. Okay, so it looks like Little Miss Marshmallow disconnected, but did mark off the Rakshasa square. Yes, very, very fast. Both of these players are at the top of B tier, for those that don't know. I think both are maybe not quite as active in the Discord, but like anyone who watched B tier matches last season, Hugo was undefeated until they lost in playoffs, and Marshmallow was pretty much right there with him. And honestly, like, both players are extremely good, and I was personally pretty excited to be able to cast this match, because I am expecting some pretty great gameplay from both. And Marshmallow did see the hot foot double synergy with the win 2 games in a row without jumping. Unfortunately, that's the hardest part of this goal, is not jumping after mashing through the text, because I've done that exact same thing. I was actually just going to mention that the hardest part of that goal is not jumping as you're like mashing through this. It's like surprisingly hard to not immediately jump, by the way. Like, yeah, the other thing you learn is after that you just mash with the other button and then it's fine, but I've done that exact same thing and I was like just about to warn there too. Alright, so this Barbuda, speak to 3, oh, never mind. I think going into Barbuda, but then seeing that there was a pin golf goal on board. Par better on 5 courses, dunking on every stroke. I am going to be watching this one pretty intensely because it is kind of hard to confirm if people actually... Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. It looks like it's okay now. I was rushing to try to fix the numbers here because there's only one gift so far. This gift is actually a gift. Yeah, sorry about that. My laptop's been having some kind of weird issues lately, and I'm not entirely sure why. But it has seemed okay for casting stuff, at least, so... outside of that, I guess. Y'all didn't super miss anything. It's the first couple of strokes of pin golf, and Hugo's been fine. And did unfortunately lose over in Hot Foot from not jumping. The not jumping goal is actually like a little more difficult than you would expect it to be if you've not tried it before. Alright, and Hugo immediately putting some impressive pressure on that middle column, trying to decide if they want to stay in for... Oh man, it's going to do an ad. I lined up the ad so well. Come on, stream. But that's okay. Dipping into Barbuda to try to get that 3 different NPCs goal. I admittedly don't know the route for this. I'm not 100% sure how fast this actually is, but... And meanwhile, Marshmallow seeing the threat of that middle row bingo and identifying that this rail heist goal is definitely the fastest one to go for in there. Hugo can use this opportunity to try to get a little bit of progress in Barbuda. I'm going to snooze this ad so it's not just like at the start of this match, because that's annoying. Yeah, this rail heist goal is really fun. It's basically allowing you to have all of the power-ups at once, including an extra hit. So right here you'll see that even though Marshmallow got shot, still does survive because the... I forget how powerful the double jump is. And making out of there with 1 second left, very nice. Saves an extra 10 rounds, or 10 seconds of the other guy just walking around. Yeah, so you have all the power-ups in Rail Heist, which means you have insta-kill punches, which I think just makes them as strong as, like, powered-up bullets. You have double jump, you have an extra shot available. You're able to, yeah, with the powered-up punch, just instantly kill guys instead of just knocking them out. And this goal is difficult to get to foul business. It's just like in terms of you have to play a couple of levels first to get there, because Good Spur does not actually do the like, it's not like a level select code, it's just all the power-ups and stuff. But you do have a lot of opportunity here. Meanwhile, Hugo has already seen at least one Bean NPC. I wasn't sure if that was his first or second, but doing a smart reset there to reset with lives and also just get back to the middle of the map, because this doesn't have to be in one run, you just have to talk to 3 different guys. And meanwhile, Marshmallow is already in foul business, so now the goal can begin of trying to kill all the lawmen and all the chickens. I've seen some pretty creative ways of getting through this in some other streams, so I am curious to see how Marshmallow handles this. It's so funny that you can just instantly punch through these, like, reinforced crates. Because for those that don't know, you are able to punch through those blocks. They just take, like, I think like 32 regular punches or something. And they're, like, made to look indestructible, but if you know how to destroy them, you can just do it. And with the power-ups, you're able to do it in a single punch, so... obviously, killing all the lawmen in this level is not really the concern, because you have an extra shot available and can one-shot them. But there are a lot of chickens in this level. Look at all those chickens. And you gotta shred them all. So, this is one of the things I was curious about, to see how Marshmallow was gonna go ahead and handle that. It is actually kind of difficult to kill the chickens, because you're meant to, like, use them as blocks and stuff too. So this top row of chickens up here, as well as the, like, enclave at the end, is pretty hard to clear out. I have seen this strategy work. I've also seen people basically clear it out, like, on the bottom, and then use, like, the train running away as the way that you kill all these chickens. Oh, this is close. I think she's fine, though. Very nice. That was a good one-shot goal. We are 10 minutes into the match and 5 different spaces have been marked off. This is about the pace I was expecting for this match. Very close, but pulled it off. And now down 3-2. Marshmallow's going to hop into a tactics to try to reach Lieutenant in ranked mode. This is... oh no, the tutorial! Tutorial gets everyone. Thankfully, ranked mode is available from the start of the game. Like, you don't have to get the cherry first to be able to access ranked mode. But in order to get the cherry, you have to reach 100 in ranked mode and beat the campaign. So, thankfully, in this specific instance, tutorial is the crust sector of a tactics is a sentence that is true, but outside the context of UFO 50 is just... it's a very funny sentence. Outside of our corner of the internet, that sentence doesn't make sense, but in our corner of the internet, that sentence makes perfect sense. How'd it come out? I guess you haven't seen it yet. You just put it in the hair towel. Yeah. I always forget how much hair you, like, still have, though, when I'm, like, dyeing it up there, because I'm like, oh, yeah, your hair is really thick, it's just short now. Yeah.
We didn't know how thick it was when it was long.
Yeah.
It wasn't that thick when it was long. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ugh.
What's it called when neither player goes for gold because they think the other is in it? Bingo.
Oh, no, it was golden.
Vex says hi.
Hi.
That's Bungo. Very true.
Hello, bingo goers.
Yeah. I just did Bun's hair before stream today, so hoping it came out well. It seemed like it did.
It looked like it was very well saturated, so.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get it to run all the way clear, so.
Well, that's good, I think.
It didn't go all the way clear.
Yeah.
I need to stop making Scientology jokes.
Yeah, you do.
I'm so sorry. I'm very into debunking Scientology right now.
Yeah. Bun's been on a hyperfixation of trying to dethrone Scientology, but it
Dethrone? Okay, don't get me declared an SP right now, okay?
Never mind.
They're gonna start coming for me. I'm just very into
Forget I said anything, apparently.
I'm just very into like reading books and watching shows of people that have left Scientology right now.
As someone who is not into this, I did not realize that saying that was...
Well, like, if I get too vocal about it, they might start coming for me.
Okay.
You know how they are. They are tax exempt, and they have a lot of money
Yes.
to come for you.
So I do see that we're trying again at the hot foot goal. This is Hugo's first time of doing this hot foot goal. Being very careful to do the pause buffering there. I've never seen that strat before, but you can just mash the non-jump button to get through the text as needed. But yeah, I am surprised to see Night Manor Gold Disc on the card still. But also, both players have kind of just been doing whatever they've wanted to do this match. I do think it's funny that neither has even like attempted Night Manor yet, but... Also, I decided last night when I was playing Spicy Bingo that I should probably learn the route for Night Manor Cherry Disc, because it does seem like a cherry that's actually like feasible to do during Bingo, if you like remember the route. Because even not having remembered the route and apparently erasing Skousen in it, it seems like it's pretty manageable.
It was just me saying
Okay.
hi. Oh, I think it's a lot of stuff like
Avenger Square, the multi-mod one? Yeah, that could be pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if Marshmallow like, tried to hop into... Oh, the defeat a boss. Yeah, that would be pretty good. There's a lot of Avenger on this board, actually.
Ranger! Get on the floor! I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Everyone does get to hear your co-cast because it's just me and you. So. And unlike last night, this microphone is better at picking that up. Hi, Keeney. Yeah, you missed some pretty clean good spur, honestly. Marshmallow kind of just did what she wanted to do and got that goal right away. Karma appreciated your song.
I might not know like a lot about the games, but I sure have references up the wazoo, okay?
That's what the color caster is for. It's fine.
I know one game and it's Party House.
I'm the play-by-play person and Bun's the color commentary.
And let me tell you, did we have commentary when we were playing Party House last time, okay?
It's true.
The mermaid was having a love affair with the socialites, and then she would get like beer goggles and come in with like an old friend. And we're like, okay, you're coming in with a 1? Like, you had a 9 before, but okay.
Yeah, the drama of who the mermaid was going to bring in this week for her party.
Like insecure, like, I don't know if I could deserve a 9 right now.
The soap opera of...
It was a lot of drama.
I didn't know that if you stacked a ranger like that behind a guy, they would just instantly do, like, the double hit like that. That's good to know. And, suddenly, with 16 minutes... we already have 8 spaces marked. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting this with these two players because both of these players are like really, really good at all of UFO 50. And this match is not disappointed. So going for looking like the Big Bell Race goal here, which honestly is actually a pretty hard goal. It has been nerfed, so you don't have to give every single opponent a head start, which is good, because when the goal was like that, there were times where like the guys would die before completing their first lap, and then you would have to wait for the dead guy to complete a lap first. Yeah, this ended up being a really fast card.
The song changed and it was very loud. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry. 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 I'm so
Wife looking like she saw a ghost, and it's because the D&B track in her bathroom playlist changed. Oh, as a heads up, there's gonna be ads because my stream decided to restart in the middle of it. Yo, Ghost, how's it going? Let me see if I can snooze these ads for the raid. I can do it one more time. Okay, there'll be ads in 6 minutes. Hi, Ghost. How was UFO 50? I saw you were working on Porgy earlier. We are just getting started on an incredibly fast-paced match. This match is so fast-paced that neither player has seen Nightmare or Gold Disc yet. And honestly, it's not like they've done slow goals, they've just also done fast goals. Porky more like Snorgy. Now that I'm like trying to learn Porgy goals specifically for bingo, I am liking it more. But my casual playthrough of Porgy was not one of my favorites, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I saw Hugo versus Marshmallow didn't have a caster for a lot of this week, and I was like, oh, I definitely need to pick that game up. Because anyone who was in B tier last season definitely knows how good these players were and are. And just because they're not active on the Discord does not mean that they're not definitely the maybe two top players in the tier. It's kind of hard to say because B1 apparently is just loaded this season because every game's been good. Yo, that blue guy like rushing back. Rushing back specifically to get the extra hit is rough. Yeah, Hugo versus May was a fantastic match. I do wish May would have been able to join this season, but I don't blame her for taking a break. So maybe recontemplating the... Alright, Night Manor, we're here, finally. I don't think either player has gotten an extra life yet. Marshmallow will get her first gift. I'm just gonna go ahead and mark it now. Yeah, I was a part of the beginning of that villain arc last season. Like, I was one of the first games that started that, and I definitely saw it coming. Alright, so both players have realized that Night Manor is still on the board. Unfortunately, Free Hugo is a little bit behind, but I am going to at least give him credit for the gift here. I haven't actually dusted off my Night Manor in a while, because I learned it a lot last season and then got a run I was happy with and kind of just left it.
From your day manners?
I appreciate that I got 2 snorts from yourself, by the way.
There was only one.
Oh. There was one laugh and then a snort, then I guess, but...
I can't double snort.
You've double snorted on jokes before.
Well, not like back-to-back snorts in one breath.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was funny.
No, it's funny.
You laughed. Sorry.
It's fine. Okay, so got the gift. Oh god, I thought my OBS froze again. That was terrifying. Okay, so this will actually prove to be a pretty important block for Marshmallow, because Hugo's board presence right now is potentially even threatening that middle row. And Night Manor Gold Disc is much, much faster than any other goal on that row. So that might end up even... So both players unfortunately having a few disconnects, but that's why we were mentioning at the start of this to make sure that you have the board available in both spaces. Both mobile and not mobile. And that suddenly does actually... I was gonna say, it does threaten that column 4 potential comeback bingo from Marshmallow here. She is down 6-4 in terms of spaces, but if she's able to get this Bug Hunter space, we'll be threatening a pretty quick column for Bingo, depending on how comfortable she is in Hotfoot without July or Edgar, which admittedly is pretty hard Hotfoot. I think is that very hard for Hotfoot? Specifically Gold Disc without the two characters that you normally Gold Disc with. Because, like, admittedly, when I first Gold Disced it, it was before I knew the cheese for either of those characters, but expecting to bust that out in a game is intense. Oh, I guess after the... I guess before I ping the Discord, I would need to run these ads that have been trying to start since stream disconnected. So let's run those ads, and then we will come back for... Alright, I'll ping the Discord. So the Barbuda goal... Why are we in Barbuda? Okay. I was a little confused by that. Because looking at the board, it didn't really seem like there was a super big reason to be in Barbuda. But I think now seeing the potential of that top row Bingo, Hugo is going to just try to... Oh, this might be a gift rush, actually. Just because he does already have two. It looks like he's not giving an advantage for that space. He might, like, do it on waves 2 through 8. And unfortunately getting a reset in Bug Hunter. Not gonna lie, Bug Hunter is one of the few games in UFO 50 that I feel like the more I practice it in Bingo, the worse I get at it. I don't know why Bug Hunter and I just don't get along for the purposes of Bingo, but... looking like there might be an okay position here. Wait, I counted 3 glyphs. Did Hugo get the gift in Hotfoot and just didn't actually get the either goal in it? Well, there's a very important head-to-head Bug Hunter race happening right now, so I'll let the players complete that first. Because this Bug Hunter complete first job would actually be a gift as well, and I thought that was potentially what he was going to go for. But we definitely saw the gift. Oh yeah, he would have gotten it in Hotfoot because he won 2 games in a row without jumping. So it would have been Hotfoot, Pin Golf, Bushido Ball, and the game before this. Big Bell Race. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Also, reiterating a 7-4 score 27 minutes into the game is ridiculous. How's it going, Radio? Yeah, we got a head-to-head bug hunter race. Sorry I haven't commented on it quite yet, because I was confirming the gifts, because that was also a semi-important space. But this head-to-head bug hunter to complete the first day is actually proving to be pretty important for both players. If Hugo gets this, that super immediately threatens the top row bingo. And if Marshmallow gets this, it threatens the column 4 bingo, which is also still pretty possible. But does feature a semi-long general goal, and I think the very hard for Hotfoot. Marshmallow is looking to be in a pretty decent position here, just picking off these last couple of guys. And there you go. So that is completing the first job, and I guess I'll mark down that that is also technically a gift. And suddenly Hugo, who has been in a pretty commanding position so far, is actually on the back foot here. And yeah, looking like Marshmallow is going to threaten the boss rush here, as I think Hugo makes the decision that if this is getting countered, it's getting countered with this space. And we get to see Vegan Hotfoot mascot. Interesting. So one of the reasons this Hotfoot goal was so interesting is because the two main characters that you use to gold disc this game are not allowed to be used. And if you don't use those two characters, Hotfoot is like actually very, very difficult. For those that don't know, July is the character that is able to push kids over, and Edgar is the kid that's on screen right now that's just able to walk like over halfway onto the other side of the map. And you typically use both of them to kind of do what that Edgar just did there, to grab beanbags that are like not normally able to be grabbed, and kind of just loop your enemies into dying. But without those two characters, this game is actually like surprisingly well balanced, and ends up making a pretty difficult but also like pretty well balanced gold disc challenge here. And it is an interesting, like, I'm always pretty interested to see who the players go for, because it is pretty different from player to player. So we have one boss currently, I think, for Marshmallow. I'll have to check her board again after just to confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's just one. So this will be 2 for Marshmallow after she was able to beat Campanella World 1. Had a terrible time cherrying Hotfoot. Yeah, I had cherried Hotfoot just before I learned how to... I didn't actually even know how to do Edgar cheese, I just knew how to do July cheese. And pushing over the robot is very difficult. I actually ended up... so in draft mode, in addition to getting to choose who you like play the game as, obviously, the kid that ends up crying in draft mode is the kid that you end up playing last with the robot. And there was the point during my Hotfoot grind where I was just so frustrated that I just ran July and Amy and just kept resetting until I got Edgar as the final battle. So if you look at my like Hotfoot cherry grind VODs, it's like 20 minutes of me just like resetting over and over again until I actually got Edgar as the final match. But I had justification for it, because for those that don't know, the final match, pushing over the robot is possible, but it's like really annoying and has this like extra trick that you have to do. But since Edgar runs over onto your half of the match, it ends up being much easier to kind of just bait him over to your side and then like stun lock him over there. I think even then I was struggling pretty hard with that, but so going into Fist Hell for another very quick boss. I don't think we've seen a 1-up from either player yet. Oh. Did Marshmallow get a 1-up from Campanella 1? I feel like she probably had to, right? There's no way you make it through World 1 without getting a 1-up on accident, because it's just 1,000 points. I'm going to mark her down for the 1-up there, and then we'll just leave it as like a question mark, because I didn't actually see, but I have a hard time believing that she wouldn't have gotten a 1-up from Campanella 1. Got a 1-up in Rakshasa. Oh, the bell. Right. I forget that the bell's a 1-up, because, like, you don't, like, technically have 1-ups in Rakshasa, but, like, you also definitely do, so. Hey, Zirkle, how's it going? And, haven't really super been commenting on this Hotfoot, because the Hotfoot without the cheese is just good sports gaming. But it looks like the decision for Mascot is actually paying off pretty well. I don't normally see people play Mascot, but it looks like Hugo is very comfortable with actually taking advantage of the stuff that gets thrown more onto their side. I personally can't play with Mascot because I just end up standing in the line of fire. But he is definitely getting some pretty good like water spawns. He's getting good bags that are going over there fast, and he's just playing efficiently. Like, that wasn't even a July stun lock, and it basically felt like it. I have missed if this has been a cherry so far. Like, I've missed if every game's been a blowout, but I know at least 2 of them have been. I assume the seaside is just for a boss. I have to imagine that Marshmallow sees the synergy with that Vanger defeat a boss and defeat a boss in different games also. So I wouldn't be surprised for Marshmallow if she did all of the bosses leading up to Vanger and then Vanger was the 6th one. Because even if you don't super know Vanger, like, the first boss is not very far into Vanger. I feel like every other Vanger goal definitely requires you to at least, like, somewhat know Vanger to be able to do it. But defeat a boss is one of the goals that I think even if you don't super know Vanger, as long as you know how to get to the heat mod at all, you're fine. So, again, Hugo is taking really good advantage of these water spots. Kind of always seems to have a bingo whenever the players are in line to get, like, slip on it. Using the defensive wind really well to be able to, yeah, another blowout. I've missed if the middle games were blowouts, but I know at least games 1, 4, and 5 were. If this could parlay into a vegan Hotfoot cherry, that would be incredible. Because, like, I feel like that would have to be the first vegan Hotfoot cherry we've seen in Bingo. Like, even just getting the gold disc without the cheese characters is exceptionally difficult. Yeah, I keep calling it that because that's what it was called during the Cherry Rush run, but... Okay, so that's another boss. So, wouldn't be surprised if we get the Cyber Owl's boss here, and then boss number 6 is the Vanger boss for the double synergy. Yeah, for those that, like, I kind of took a little while to get it, but it's without cheese in Hotfoot. But unfortunately, the final 2 stages of Hotfoot are absolutely brutal. For the final 2 stages of Hotfoot, you have to battle against 2 characters that you normally don't have access to. The monkey and the robot both have, like, combined special powers. So the monkey's able to, like, hold different beanbags. Marshmallow did not get an extra life from Wasper, thank you. I thought that they were playing a little conservatively for Star Wasper, but I did also forget until now that she did dip into that, but... Yeah, depending on how you do Wave 1, it is also possible to just not get an extra life from Wave 1. Like if you end up dying before the end of Wave 1. Yo, coach, calm down, buddy. It is not that serious. That coach is just chucking shit on the stage left and right. We get he's your kid, but calm down. So that should be 3 extra lives now. Okay, thank you. If y'all ever see that one of the general goals is off, please feel free to let me know, because quite honestly, casting is tricky, so I'm trying my best to keep track of stuff. But alright, so in a little bit of a predicament here. It's tied 13-13. Does at least... Ooh, that was a nice double hit, though. So that will not be the cherry, but more importantly, it does push this round on to the final game. As I mentioned, the kid that cries at the end of the draft team goes home and builds a robot. And this robot is very difficult. It has the combined powers to be able to push you over. I think it also throws faster and harder, and also has unique specials. And this will also probably be an extra... Yeah, I didn't realize before this board how good of synergy 1-ups and bosses actually were. Because a lot of the games that have 1-ups also happen to have bosses. That is good to keep in mind. So thank you, Marshmallow, for rushing these general goals here, because I probably wouldn't have noticed that until someone claimed it against me. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. So the robot's special powers are difficult to avoid. But if you have the right timing for it, you can do it consistently. You just got to be careful. Alright, so 13-9. Thankfully the robot is not immune to spilling on water. Oh, coach, calm down, buddy. Just let your kid win this. Ooh, my god. Oh my god. No! Oh, that is tragic, Hugo. I am so sorry. Oh, lost 14-15 in the final round. Still doesn't know exactly. Yeah, that's so tragic. Oh my god, I thought he had that. And he actually did, but the robot jumped up for the special at the very end and threw off his shot. If the robot hadn't timed out that exact shot, that would have been a one-shot of one of the hardest goals, I would say, in Bingo. As we were mentioning, Hotfoot is an incredibly difficult game, and I was doing my best to not commentator's curse that in any way I could help. Did I add the 1-up here already? I did. Okay. So meanwhile, Marshmallow has been making pretty steady progress on the bosses. I believe this is boss number 6. Because I don't think I actually marked Cyber Owls. Because I was busy watching the Hotfoot in the meantime. One of the hard things about co-casting 2 games of fast UFO 50 action at the same time as you do sometimes miss stuff on the other side of the field, so Marshmallow has been incredibly efficient about this so far, and coming up on the World 1 boss. Marshmallow theoretically could stay in this. Oh, I was going to say for the gifts, but the gifts has already been marked off, so that doesn't matter. The ball being stuck in the corner is like one of the worst things that can happen in this fight. But there we go. Boss down. And I believe that's boss number 6. Yep. Okay, so now Hugo is seeing that they made the right decision to be in Hotfoot. Are we gonna get the head-to-head vegan Hotfoot battle? Or is Marshmallow just going to take the time to do some other goals? Because that is one of the difficulties with bingo. Like, you haven't seen Hugo mark off a space in a while. You know he's in hot foot at this point, because kind of has to be. And, you know, there's not really, like, you could... Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to move out of the way. Trying to move out of the way for you.
No, this shit was in my way, and then you kick me while I'm moving it? Stab me with your toe?
I didn't mean to, sorry.
Come on. Come on.
Thank you, Curry. I'm excited. CG's a really good opponent, and I think it'll be a pretty fun game. I am glad I got in some good practice last night, before and after Spicy. So it looks like we are going to go for the Big Bell goal. I believe outside of the column 4 and column 5 bingos... Oh no, not everything is marked off yet. So there's the column 4, column 5 bingo. If Hugo is able to get this hot foot block on this space, by the way, that does actually put Hugo in a pretty decent spot for the diagonal. It does unfortunately involve Alpha Trilogy, which is definitely one of the scariest spaces on the board. But if Hugo can manage to set up a bingo opportunity with Alpha Trilogy and a hot foot gold disc without July Rainy, I think they deserve it. Yeah, I caught CG's match last week, both for Monday Night Bingo and just because I was also curious. And they're definitely really good. I'm not sleeping on them at all. Like, I'm quite honestly expecting to lose and just wanting to put up a good game. But I am excited to see where it goes, because I think one of the fun things about bingo practice, and I've definitely noticed that now that I've been trying to do weekly practice myself, is you definitely do start to get more comfortable with games that, like, maybe at the start of the bingo season would have not been your go-tos or whatever. And excited to see if that happens. Meanwhile, Marshmallow has been struggling a little bit with his Big Bell Race goal. I, not gonna lie, I'm kind of terrified of Big Bell Race and bingo. I feel like Big Bell Race as a casual game is like one of those games that you just beat so fast that, like, you don't really think about it again. But in the context of bingo specifically, I feel like everyone has come up pretty well with goals that are, like, very difficult for bingo, but also still, like, doable. This bell race goal is pretty tricky. There's also a goal where you have to get a gold disc without dying at all, which, as you've seen, if the AI just decides to be mean to you, is actually really hard. I feel like there are a few fast Big Bell Race goals, but, like, I personally am still scared of them. And yeah, both players are absolutely popping off. It's 7-6 under an hour is ridiculous, and let alone under 45 minutes. There's been a lot to cover in this match because both players are playing really well and also blocking. Guri, right before you got here, Hugo almost one-shot this hot disc goal, or hot foot gold disc goal, but lost 14-15 in the final match, and it was tragic. But kudos to just bouncing back and going for it again, because obviously, if you assume Marshmallow is also in this and she gets it, that's game over instantly. But also, this does set Hugo up pretty well for a diagonal bingo opportunity. Back to the monkey already, which is good. I've missed how many of these games have been blowouts, but I know the last one was, at least. I'm assuming Cherry is not, like, on the mind, really, but there are the collect 4 cherry discs from this card. Both of Hugo's remaining bingo opportunities are, like, really long and hard goals, so I wouldn't be surprised if the diagonal bingo or majority is more what they end up going for, because there are still some pretty quick goals in this.
Okay, why is this still here?
Oh.
Once it... Once I get in the shower, you don't need to have this here anymore.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if your hair was still...
No. Every single time, once I get in the shower, it doesn't need to be here anymore.
Okay.
It literally just needs to be there for when the dog...
Another blowout. Nice. So the final game, Robot and B. I'll move the mic next time, please.
It's fine, I just don't want to sit on the wrinkles of it and stuff.
I understand.
Like, it's uncomfortable, and I have a sensory issue with it. I have an issue with everything right now.
So, final game. Robot is a very scary opponent because it's able to push you over, get out of the way, and fire fast. Which I think you unfortunately saw all of in that one combo right there. Mascot is an interesting pick because unfortunately Coach does have a tendency to just do this if you're like close to the line but not all the way up on the line, where sometimes you just get pelted with all the things he's like trying to help you with. So I was curious to see it again. Bounce back the own wave with another wave. And 6-5, Robot has a beanbag in hand, but tries to pass it, and misses. Coach is trying his best to blow this game for his son in an alligator suit, and just his son is not having it. Neither PC or neither computer can grab either of the beanbags because they're both near water. That's really funny. Today's Sunday.
No, it's not.
Today's Saturday is what I meant to say.
First
I said
of
the
all,
wrong day.
what the fuck?
I said the wrong day, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Why would you do that to me?
I didn't mean to, I'm sorry.
Didn't need to fast forward it that much. Jesus.
13-8.
Way to stress
Coach,
me out.
calm down. Coach, do not do this to your son again.
You calm down. You just said it was fucking Sunday.
I wasn't saying to you, baby boy.
I know, but you need to calm down too.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Alright, we're good. Hugo does get the space. 5 of 6 blowouts. Very, very close to a cherry, but got the more important gold. Very good job. That is a monumental space here. And suddenly, Hugo's actually looking to be in a pretty good spot again. Marshmallow was working on other squares that entire time, so that was nice for them because they didn't really get sniped on anything. I don't know if Marshmallow sees the threat of that diagonal, and given the fact that Hugo's in Big Bell Race currently, I'm not sure if they do either. Might just, again, be going for a more chill goal after that one. So it is also possible, to be perfectly honest, that neither player is like comfortable in Vanger, because that does happen a lot. Like, admittedly, I'm not super comfortable in Vanger either. But I do know that in a situation like this where Vanger is both helpful for board presence and also just in general, the resource dock does have some, like, at least basic maps on where to go for stuff. While we are in Pack, this is the score 18,000 points, which should be happening, I believe, at the end of stage 2-ish. It looks like Marshmallow is actually on pretty good score pace right now. But I think we'll likely need the little bonus at the end of stage 2 to be able to do it. It does also make me feel better after having practiced this Big Bell Race goal that 2 players as skilled as the ones that are playing right now are also having trouble with this Big Bell Race goal. And also just saw that the score thing's off. I think the players are kind of having disconnect and reconnect issues, it looks like, for both of them on the board, so I think the actual indicator of their points is changing depending on which board, if they're like on their PC or mobile versions, which is fine. I just gotta Oh yes, also another extra life. That is general 2. Okay. Alright, so Hugo's got 2 wins here. Honestly, not a bad death in my opinion. Like, you weren't very far into that lap anyway, and you were already at 1 HP, so you might as well just take the death there and go for it. This stage in particular is a little hard to come back on because there's not really a way to come back, really, unless the guys in front either take a lot of damage or boost you up like that. You can kind of take some of these corners a little sharper than the AI does, but not by like a lot. Oh, but Hugo's making pretty decent progress in this, honestly. Does see the threat of this yellow getting another lap. Very nice. I don't know if they're going to be able to come back in time because green just did finish there, but honestly, even coming back to third after that is pretty difficult. This race in particular is a little easier to come back on because the AI takes like really wide turns around this sometimes. And it looks like Marshmallow is getting close. Oh, let me not jinx this. Oh, was hoping for the double egg there, but because she died. Oh, there's 17,900. Alright, 18,000 exactly. Nightbot keeps posting my birthday schedule, but that was like last week, and I keep forgetting to turn the timer off. Alright, so Marshmallow did score the 18K.
And it's driving me crazy that you keep not turning the timer off.
Yeah, just forget about it. Sorry, dude.
I would turn it off for you, but I don't have access to your Nightbot.
I'll do it before next stream.
I will leave when I see it. You keep not doing it.
So, Marshmallow figuring out where to go next. What is Campanella doing? Did Marshmallow actually not get an extra life in Campanella? Meanwhile, Hugo does get that space. Does also disconnect again, though, so let me remove this again. Okay. So it looks like Marshmallow might be trying to count up how many games they've actually gotten a 1-up in.
I didn't mean it mean. I was trying to be sassy and it sounded meaner than I meant.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
It happens. Looks like she didn't get the extra life before. Okay, I mean, it's definitely possible. It's impressive to make it through the first level of or the first world of Campanella 1 without getting an extra life. So Mortal 1 is definitely a good game to grab the extra lives in because you either need to kill 3 enemies or just grab one of the extra life tokens here. And I think the life token right here is faster. Okay, that's another extra life. I think she's up to 6. She might be at 7. Ninpak 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think she's now also unsure if she got a life in Star Wasper, but did not. It might just be trying to look for another quick game. Definitely 6. Okay. Meanwhile, Hugo going for coffees. I was a little surprised this space was still on the board, to be honest, but I think players were focusing on different spots. The 5 coffees and warp tank goal was actually pretty fast. This was one of the first goals that I wrote a guide for. When you're playing through warp tank, the first time through, you actually don't get any indication at all on where the coffees are. As you start to play more of warp tank, you'll eventually get like flowers that spawn on the screen that are supposed to indicate that there's something there. Normally you kind of just have to warp around to spots that look out of place and eventually find them. But Hugo looking pretty practiced in warp tank, because these are some pretty clean and decisive warps. Yeah, Mooncat did that also. I forget if it was just Mooncat and Warp Tank, or if there was another game that did it too offhand, but I actually only really knew about it because I stumbled across the Warp Tank one, or stumbled across the Mooncat one on my own. And then after I beat Warp Tank, saw the flowers, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I ended up using guides eventually for Warp Tank stuff, just because truthfully, the flowers aren't always like the best indication of where the spots actually are. I don't actually know how many games use the flower indicating thing offhand. I know at least Warp Tank and Mooncat do, but alright, so that's coffee number 3. Just got to dip into the side levels over here. And this may end up being another gift, not that it actually really matters here, but more importantly, if Marshmallow is able to beat this bonus stage, it'll be an extra life. And if they mark this space, I believe it's because they think that they got the life in Star Wasper. But I don't think they did. So there's the extra life. So, Ninpeck, Mortal, Kick Club, Campanella, Rakshasa. Yeah, so they have 8 games on here. I think they are also unsure if they got that extra life, so making the smart decision to just go back into Star Wasper and get it here. If Marshmallow did mark off that space, I would have just said that she had 7, and then she would have done this exact thing anyway. So, Marshmallow, thank you for not making me do that. It is nice to just watch and know that these players are doing what they need to do. So watching the Beat 4 levels cutscene here. So in terms of possible bingos that are left, it looks like Marshmallow's only bingo that's left is about to be blocked by this Coffee's goal. Yeah, a quick puffin would probably be faster than 50k, especially since there's not really any other reason to stick in for Star Wasper stuff. I do know that Marshmallow is pretty comfortable in Star Wasper, just given their performances in Bingo with it lately. So it is possible that they're just like, alright, all I need to do is just play Star Wasper well. As soon as I say play Star Wasper while she blows up, that sounds about right. Yeah, so I think at this point, probably faster to just go ahead and like hop into Waldorf and get a quick puffin. It's looking like Hugo is trying to figure out exactly how to get these coffees here. Very nice last minute dodge. Didn't actually get the coffee though. Gotta go back and get it. There you go. Go over this way. That works too. collect the coffee, warp up. There you go. Okay. So with that, Hugo officially blocked the last possible opportunity for Bingo from Marshmallow. So this game is either going to majority or to Hugo getting a Bingo. The column 5 Bingo is looking pretty rough at this point, to be perfectly honest. It is doable, but like there's probably quicker other goals on here still. So this Golf area goal, I believe, is actually pretty fast, because the green golf balls are, there's at least one that's like straight, like within 10 shots of the start. I don't remember exactly where the second one is, to be perfectly honest, but I do know that at least that first one's pretty fast. So Marshmallow is not really trying to score grind here to get the extra life. Or maybe just is more comfortable score grinding in wave 2. Did she get the extra life there? I didn't see the extra life there. Can you clip that really quick, please? We're good. Thank you. Okay, so while I was doing that, Hugo showed off how quick the Rescue Toon Green Balls goal is. I forgot there's that second one that's like down at the start. So with that, Hugo's up 11-8. I think kind of just surveying the board for whatever last 2 goals he feels like doing. I think it's safe to say that both players probably are not super comfortable in Vanger based on the defeat a boss goal still being there. But yeah, at this point, I think even if you don't know Vanger at all, like, you gotta assume that a boss is pretty close to the start. The basic crawler enemies do count as bosses, and this is, I think, the fastest one. And meanwhile, Marshmallow unfortunately dying to wave 1 of this goal. I personally think that doing this with a super upgraded Zola right away is actually pretty hard. Like, I know that this is the thing that's in the dock, but I prefer personally to just take my time a little bit more and set up units on all 4 sides. Because it makes waves 4 and 5 like really fast and free if you just have the unit set up already. Same, Guri. I think my next session of Marshmallow did take a hit there. Yeah. Gonna need to give up and restart. I think my next practice session is probably just gonna be Vanger stuff. Just because it does synergize with like everything in Bingo. And also I'm not good at it. Yeah. So that's my personal, like, one beef with Vanger more than anything else. Is just the, typically, like, I have a hard time not getting lost in Metroidvanias anyway. And Vanger doesn't always do the best job at having one area be unique from another. So it's a little hard to just be like, oh yeah, it's the room with the blank, I just go over here. Because, like, they're all sort of similarly themed outside of, like, the main worlds, I guess. So, you're not alone on that. So as a heads up to anyone in the resource doc, I have written the guide for how to do this without even upgrading Zola at all, because that was the only way I knew how to do it. It does take a little bit longer, but I think it's a lot safer. And someone mentioned, I think it was a guy yesterday, mentioned that like even if a bingo goal is like technically faster to do one way, if it's like 30% consistent to do it that way compared to the 100% way, you're typically taking like 3 times as long to do the thing that's supposedly a little bit faster, and then in the end it ends up like not really being faster. So general shout out to the bingo resource doc, because while there is a method in there that's like a little bit slower than the one that Marshmallow's doing, and I think once Marshmallow has completed this goal, like this route will be faster. But you can even just see how slow double bows are at the very start. Like they're not even hitting these like little green guys, let alone the Cheetos and armored guys that are going to be running through. But basically, if you just build up like both sides at kind of like high efficiency points, you can kind of just use your free time to build up chicken economy, which then lets you do that even more and then also upgrade yourself, which like theoretically would mean that you'd be able to get a boss, and this is what you like really want to do. Yeah, this double archer strategy here unfortunately is not working because the guys are just too slow. So understandably Marshmallow quitting out there and trying to see if there's another goal. I think at this point in the game, unless you really wanted to dedicate a bunch of time in Alphazar's hat, which does at least like kind of synergize with the cherry disc, or go for Alpha Trilogy, which is the next fastest thing. We are definitely reaching the point of the game now that it's 11 to 8, where the only things that are left on the board are really, really long and pretty knowledge heavy. I do think Hugo has set themselves up pretty well to just be in danger for the rest of this game and kind of just figure it out if they want to. I wouldn't be surprised necessarily if Hugo did just defeat a boss and then go to something else. But I think with the time investment for Vanger specifically, this makes sense. And I believe Hugo's looking up how to do Verde skip here. So typically for this sector, you end up having to do like this big loop-de-loop and come back into this room through the thing on the left up there. But there's a thing called Verde skip where if you kill all the enemies except for this little red guy here, and damage boost as you flip through, you end up having just enough time to escape past that second row of spikes and go through it the other way, which means that you are able to basically skip like probably 5 or 10 minutes of running around. And it does look like Marshmallow, after a little bit in Velgress, has just decided to chill in Alphazar's hat for a bit. Alphazar's hat is a fairly long game, honestly. Stage 4 is pretty far into the game, and also each stage is like pretty long, so I wouldn't be surprised if Marshmallow was in this for at least like another 10 minutes or so, and even 10 minutes I think it might be cutting it, unless they're constantly dashing around all the time. Nice. Did get Verde skip. But not a ton of HP left. Might be running back to heal now, which I definitely don't blame. Don't want to have to do that again. Oh no! I was just gonna say, do have to be careful about not flipping around into those spikes specifically. Oh, that's tragic. Hugo's had some very rough deaths this game. So is gonna have to get Verde skip again because the button didn't save. Oh, never mind, it did. That's interesting. I didn't know that button saved if you died and switched worlds like that. Learning something new about Vanger every day. So now is going to be taking on this boss, which is a good idea. I don't know if Hugo knows necessarily that they could just take out one of the like crawler enemies, because those are typically an easier boss to go for. But doing a good job of managing flips. Basically, there's a bunch of spikes at the bottom of this room if you are upside down, and then these little fly enemies are really difficult to deal with, any orientation. And then the boss itself only has one spot that's available on one of the 4 sides. I guess if it's sideways, it has both spots available. For speed strats, I know you typically see players go for the heat mod on flip. So basically you just end up shooting like a fireball sideways when you flip up and down. And you typically kind of just hover near the boss and drain HP that way. Looking like we're seeing a little bit more of a straight up Vanger play here though, where you just use the gun and be careful. Stage 1 down for Marshmallow. Stage 2 is going to be an auto-scrolling train that she can't speed up at all. And then Stage 3 will be the next stage that she's able to like dash through and speed up. Meanwhile, Hugo did get to the second stage of the boss. Unfortunately, the fly came in at a bad time, but... so for those that don't know, the bosses in Vanger kind of recover HP between attempts, but not like all the way. That's some nice movement. That was nice movement to float back, but still keep the shots aimed forward. Close. Boss is down to 80 HP, gonna recover 150. And Hugo's still in a decent position here, but does have to be careful because it's the last life. Ooh, close. Go away, flies. Oh my god, I think it's 10 to 5 in terms of HP. No! Oh, Hugo's been so close on this boss. Oh, 3rd time's the charm. This should be fine now. I think Hugo's got the rhythm that they need to flip back and forth. And Marshmallow is on stage 3 now, making some pretty steady progress through Balthazar's hat. And as a fan of Balthazar's hat, I like getting to see an extended playthrough of it in Bingo. I am glad that this goal got added to Season 4, because it felt like before you definitely never even saw this far in Balthazar's hat. Much less farther than that, so... Alright. And is able to beat the boss in Vanger. Great job. Got a key code, got a save point. And then, yeah, you have a save point now, so if you want to, with the last half hour left, you could try to grab another space You could try to grab the alpha. I don't think a bingo actually super matters at this point, because I think a bingo is basically the same as a 13-point win. But Marshmallow is basically going to have to clear off every other space on the board in order to win this game. And yeah, I think Hugo, realizing that all of the progress they have in Vanger is probably going to pay off for the multi-mod double synergy here. I admittedly don't super remember where the multi-mod is offhand, but I feel like Hugo is pretty confident at this point that Marshmallow is not in Vanger, or she would have marked off spaces for it by now. He may think that Marshmallow is in Alpha Trilogy trying to block that diagonal bingo. But at this point, I don't think it super matters, so as Hugo marks off one more space in this game, it'll be a 13 to whatever most likely win. I think the only chance that Marshmallow would have is to very quickly get this stage 4 and then somehow beat Hugo specifically to the multi-mod. And with Hugo having like 10-15 minutes of extra progress in Vanger, that seems pretty difficult. I again don't remember immediately offhand where the multi-mod even is myself, so I don't remember if it's even possible to rush it that fast, but Hugo is looking like they're at least looking at the resource guide potentially to figure out where to go for this, so shoutouts again to the resource doc, because makes these very, very hard goals at least a little more manageable. This has been a very good back and forth game from both players. I think both Marshmallow and Hugo played really well this game. Surprisingly, not really a ton of like head-to-heads really. Like there kind of was one for that Night Manor Gold Disc early on, I guess. But pretty much just both players sticking to both their games. I feel like the only time they were really impacted by each other was when Marshmallow had to try to block that top bingo, and then Hugo had to block the column 4 bingo with the Hotfoot Gold Disc. Alright, so that is stage 3 down in Alphazar's Hat. Unfortunately, these later stages of Alphazar's Hat are pretty long. So even though Marshmallow is making steady progress through it, is unfortunately just taking a little bit to actually get to stage 4. I'm also unsure on if they died, but I think they have died at least once. Because I guess I'll then have to get another extend to get back up to 4 life. And it ended up kind of working out nicely for the players. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to like, be so loud about it. I just really need that neck pop for so long.
I felt that neck pop from here, so you're good.
Whew. Chat can feel that neck pop from there.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be surprised if
my
the
neck
mic
has
picked.
been killing me.
I wouldn't be surprised if the mic even picked that
If
one
the
up.
mic picked it up right. Whew. Oh, you got one too.
Thank you.
Nice. Hope you get a neck pop too, chat.
Yep. Alright. So, as I mentioned earlier in the game, both players are disconnecting and reconnecting from the map just because of connection issues today, I think. And also, speaking of connection issues, I'll probably end up having to download this VOD and stitch it to the first couple of minutes because for some reason OBS disconnected like 2 minutes in the stream today.
That's annoying.
Yeah, not really sure why that happened, but at least it came back and it's been good since then.
I guess at least it was right at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, I wasn't in the middle of like some super high intense thing either. Like if it was gonna drop then, at least it dropped then.
I didn't realize I did that since I was probably still in the shower.
Yeah, you were just on your way out, I think, still. Yeah, it is looking like whenever Hugo is able to get this multi-mod that the game's over. Because Marshmallow has not even opened up Vanger yet and would need every single Vanger space on the board to be able to... Or every space on the board, excuse me, in the next 20 minutes to be able to clutch it up. And I also don't think either player has a cherry, and with this board specifically, that seems tough. I had no clue that you could actually walk on that slime, by the way, and it's just slippery. I thought that it would kill you, and never walked on that. That's good to know.
Oh, it's just like hard to walk on?
Yeah, because it doesn't...
I would have thought it killed you too.
Yeah, it doesn't always seem like stuff that you can walk on.
Huh.
Good to know.
Yeah. Still learning things about this game.
Every time I cast.
Yeah. Cause every time I cast, I get this knowledge.
Oh, bud.
Every time I thought I knew everything about this game. It almost worked.
It worked well enough, that's fun. So we are facing Alphazar of Alphazar's Hat. This is the stage 4 boss. And if you get to this point deathless, there is another boss here. I don't think that Marshmallow has been deathless till this point, unfortunately, so this will just be a gold disc and not a cherry. But... Oh. Very good dash. Oh! Both players have unfortunately been like right at the edge there. Oh, is it single continue? It's been a while since I've cherried this, so... so, marking off the stage 4, and does get option to the final boss. At this point, yeah, I think might just be trying to go for the space that she assumes that Hugo's in right now. Given the way the board's laid out, and the fact that Marshmallow did have a little bit of trouble with that rock-on goal earlier, I think Alpha Trilogy is the right play. I think that just trying to get these gold discs at this point in the game is at least fast enough that you could do it. I do think that for a couple of these you maybe want to try to parlay them into a cherry, since you do need every single space on the board left. And that does unfortunately include 4 cherries from games on this card. And I think had Marshmallow been able to stay in Alphazar's Hat, and theoretically could have gotten the cherry in Velgras, there would have potentially been enough games on here. Because there's also Pin Golf, and would have had Alphazar's Hat. I guess the 4th game might have been kind of hard to get from this card, because you would have either had to cherry Overbold or Quovo Race probably. Or Barbuda, but that's pretty risky. The lost terminal message is funny. Yes,
Sorry.
that's okay.
We're just trying to talk, and I'm just making references on references on references on top of you.
It's fun.
Not working out.
I'm sorry. It's a cute color though. Also, your hair looks really good. I will move it out of the way in a sec. So unfortunately, there's a safe spot in the room right before they go the wrong way. I thought it was unfortunate. Also, for the record, I don't blame Hugo for getting lost in Vanger. I had mentioned when Curry was talking about it earlier that Vanger is a pretty easy game to get lost in, and this is admittedly a pretty far goal. I think at this point, Hugo does have the resource dock, at least based on the fact that they've kind of been pausing and referencing stuff. The problem with Vanger specifically for me is that even with a map, it's kind of hard to remember where to go. Like, it's just, especially when you die and get reset and have to go back to wherever you were at, like, it's hard to remember exactly where you're supposed to do for everything. So, I don't blame Hugo for getting lost in Vanger. This happened to me a lot. Also, as a heads up, there's going to be an ad soon, but I can't snooze anymore. Alright, so after dying again, I think we're going to give attempt 2 at Club Pass to try to just get the space that potentially Hugo's working on. As a reminder for those that don't know, since Hugo marked off their 12th space first, the only way that Marshmallow can win at this point is if she gets 13. So it is going to pretty much take a perfect rest of the game from Marshmallow, and at this point I don't necessarily know if she even has the time to get the cherries, much less everything else. Because Vanger is still also completely undusted, and I think it is fair to say that neither player is super comfortable at it. Again, no judgment, because I'm definitely not either, but just based on the fact that the boss space lasted so long, and also the multi-mod is hard to find. I do think that Marshmallow might need to try it. Okay, trying something a little different here and just going for the regular spear. Oh, nope, gonna upgrade. Okay, trying a spear 2 this time. I think that's a good call. I personally like to just spam spear 1s around the map. Oh, multi-mods captured. Multi-mod obtained during ad, sorry. So for those that can't see it on the corner, the multi-mod is obtained. Let me open up the Discord chat just to see if both players are chatting in there. So in an hour and a half, we ended up managing to have a very, very good game.
I got pretty lost in Vanger.
Well, that game went great. Sorry there was
game.
so much Vanger on the board.
Yeah, that's fair.
Discord?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because the game's over. Oh, because the private match thing showed up. Yeah, very well played.
Oh. I just didn't know if you knew that we could see it on the...
Yeah, it's fine for that chat specifically.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Hugo, I am so sorry for that 14-15 loss.
That
Yeah.
was, oh my god.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. I'm glad that you were able to get that space, though, because that space definitely seems very tricky. And yeah, I don't have like a ton to recap, because honestly y'all just kind of got whatever spaces you wanted to go for. I definitely don't blame you for not making progress on cherry discs from this card, because I think
that a few opportunities.
Like, there were games for it, but none of the games really like super linked up well with the cherry, unless you were just kind of extending a goal into one. And given the pace of this match, I don't think that was necessarily the like right play to do anyway, given how fast spaces were going early.
Yeah, you're right. Beside that foot where I could have got like one more blowout.
Yeah, you were so close on that one too.
Games.
And yeah, I think really had either of you gotten a cherry, there was a way to cherry rush where it would have made sense. But both of you were like pretty close on a lot of cherries, but then didn't end up getting them, so it makes sense. I don't really have any like specific notes. Yeah, just a really, really well played game to both of you, honestly.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Woo!
It was a very fun one.
My wife also supports it.
Yippee!
Hugo said yippee about it. Alright, so I guess with that, I don't really have anything else to say outside of GG's, and very well played to both of you. And as someone who's also in your tier, terrified to play either of you.
Do we play each other? Or let me
I'm
check.
not actually sure. I haven't looked at like I tend to just look at the schedule like 1 week at a time, but I'm not 100% sure. But I was very excited to cast. I was very excited to cast it though.
I'm so sorry. I'm
It's
just
okay.
trying to talk.
Yeah. I do have to get ready for my game because I have a match coming up in 20 minutes against CG. So very well played to both of you, but now I gotta try to shake off my own bingo nerves before I have my game.
Alright, good luck.
Thanks.
And
And,
thank you for casting.
Of course.
Do you want me to see if Winner's live?
I think they're gonna go live on their alt, so I'm not sure if they're live yet. But yeah, thank you for playing.
Oh.
Very well played. GG's.
So are we not reading there?
We're gonna raid there, but it's the I don't even know if they're live yet, honestly.
Okay.
I need to remember exactly how to spell it. Yeah, it's at the 0.
Well, I'm
okay.
no help then.
That's okay. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and raid Winterbit, specifically Winter's alt, I guess. Because they're gonna be live in about 20 minutes with my match. Very excited to see what my match ends up being like, because we haven't gotten like a ton of bingo practice this week, but I got enough that hopefully I'll be able to at least put on a game. I might be live again later after I like do this bingo and then make this dinner and stuff. Like I might just be ending kind of early and want to end up streaming again. I might end up taking a little bit of time to set up the race level tonight, actually, because I do have a race level with Circle that I need to start working on. So we may be live again here later. We may be live again here tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. But we will be live over on TechieBot in about 20 minutes for my match against CG65. And should be fun. CG seems like they're really good, and even though they're a newer player, I'm definitely not taking it lightly here at all. If I don't end up streaming again, have a good night, y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow. And then if I do end up streaming, I guess I'll see you later. Bye-bye.